Quizmaster Rats, and I'm giving a 90-30 simul. It's real simple to get in these. Be a member of my video lessons group, and then sign up in the forums, and I'll announce the time, and you need to follow the rules for the simul or you won't get a game. They're listed in the initial post of the forum topic. Anyway, right now I have 3 games going and a couple of challenges outstanding, and I'm not sure what happened to them, so let's just review. I'll show you what I'm doing. What I do is white is I play the King's Indian attack. Gives you a chance to learn it, and basically the first 10 or 11 moves are the same, and I'll show you what those moves are. And you're going to get castled on the 4th move, and then I move the pawn up. Now I've found, I used to play knight bd2 here. I found this bishop on c1 has a hard time getting in the game, and sometimes I would complete my development fianchetto on b2, swing my rook over to d1, and drop it back to c1. Well, that's a long maneuver. I've come to the conclusion it's okay to trade it off, so I put it on g5. Now I don't take on f6 until black kicks h6. It'll just stay there. I want black to spend a tempo. And the next bit of moves are pretty straightforward. Whoops. Knight bd2. White's basically playing these same moves against almost anything black plays. So you take black out of his prepared defenses to e4 and d4, and you get him in a system that you know. And now he's taken me out of my book. So he didn't play h6 yet, and bishop takes f6 would be my last book move. I'll come back on this in a second. I want to look at the other games and catch up. Okay, so here I've played castle, and here I've got to get going here. Okay, so waiting for 2 more games to start. I've sent challenges to analyze this PGN, and he has not responded. What happened here? Why do I have 3 moves in this game and him 1? This is a good question. G3, D5. It's not playing bishop. Okay, it's his move. I can't play bishop G2. That explains it. Okay, so we're waiting for him to move there. Let me make sure his clock is ticking. Yeah, it is. Okay, so he didn't abort the game. Okay. Now I continue with what I'm doing there. Now we get back to this game, and I get to figure things out. Okay, look, it looks like he moves, so let's get him going. Okay. And why isn't it moving? All right. No, it moved. Okay, his clock is ticking. Okay, so let's come back to this game where I now have to think for the first time. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this opening. One of the pivotal anchors for the white position is this pawn on c3. It's taking away control of d4 and b4, so you don't want to move that pawn. You want objectively black to take on e4, and you take back with the d pawn. This game gives really a total equal game. Black should have no trouble getting an equal position. But then again, black's going to equalize against any opening that white chooses. So why not play a one that you're not going to run into your opponent's prepared analysis? This is the objective here. If you're rated under 2,000 strength, you really don't need to know a great deal about book openings. You can prepare those later. And my video lessons course has a lot of ways to prepare openings. One is through playing correspondence or online chess. So since I have to think here, one objective is I use the F1 square, sometimes to transfer a knight from C1 to E3, and sometimes to be able to drop the bishop back to F1. So I'm going to go ahead and play rook E1 here and await developments. Okay, now I bring the bishop out. This is the standard continuation. Okay, and last week I played 6 games and 3 people didn't accept. 1 declined the challenge, and the other 2 didn't see it and left. So again, the example is if you're online, when I give one of these, chances are you're going to get the game even though you're on the waiting list. I have the waiting list in case I place a limit. Suppose 40 people were here and wanted to play me. Well, I can't play 40 games. I'm just not quick enough, and I'm trying to make an instructional video so you can see my thought process. Okay, so now he's played Rook E8. So E4 is well covered. So now, objectively, what I want to do is improve the position of this knight on E3. And I'm sorry, on D2. I'm getting ahead of. I want to transfer him to E3. So since I've cleared the F1 square, it's good to put the knight there, not the bishop. See, the bishop doesn't have a diagonal yet. At some point, black may exchange on E4, and then that bishop has a diagonal. So the first step is bring the knight to F1. It's just a maneuvering form. Now I continue with my same standard moves here. Okay, now I've got all their clocks ticking, and nobody has sent me a message. I'm sorry about the guys that I send challenges to. I did send you a challenge. You have one, and I'm not looking for more challenges. You're going to have to message me because it takes a while to go through the entire list of people I have on the waiting list and a number of friends that I have sitting in live chess. So I've delayed starting these videos just to until I get it going, just to get the game started. You don't want to listen to me blabbing away about all these challenges I'm sending. Okay, so 3 games should be fine for me to say an awful lot about the games. Okay, I'm not sure what happened to Imskulla Dog. Okay, there. Now he's played H6, so now I spend the tempo and take. I do not take on F6 until they play H6. I make them spend the tempo, I should say. And he'll probably take back with the knight, although he might take with the bishop. Let's see. I think it's. This will give me a pop-up when it's my turn. So I just continue with my normal opening routine, and you play these moves each and every time, and you should be fine. Okay, Queen D7. So what he's trying to do, maybe. Whoops, played over here. Let's get back to this game. It looks like he's setting up a battery to put the bishop on H3. And why is it putting the bishop back? I did not play that move. Ah! Okay, I did not play that move. I castled here. Okay, you cheated me. Oh well, mouse slip. Okay. Gotta be careful about touching pieces. Okay, Rook E8. So I just continue with Queen C2. So I've lost 2 tempos in that game. But let's talk about what I was trying to say. Black is either trying to put a battery to play Bishop H3 and trade my fianchetto bishop off, or maybe he's planning to play Knight C6 and castle long and have opposite colored bishops. So anyway, mouse slip. I'm just going to type it because that's what it was. Mouse slip. I did not play that move. How did that happen? I'll have to, when I watch the video, I'll have to tell. Okay, he wants to talk to me. Well, okay, fine. You got a chat open. You want to restart? How do we abort? I don't know how we restart. Just keep going. Just keep going. I'll live with it. Mouse slips are part of chess. Okay. All right. Just keep going now. Let me make sure it's not my move. I think although it'll pop up when it is. Okay, so this one's the most far advanced. Okay, he wants to resign and start again. Up to you. Okay. I guess he's going to resign. Now I'll re-challenge him. Okay, let's see. Now let me challenge. Okay, 90-30. Rated. I play white. Okay, thank you. It was kind of you to do that. You didn't have to do that, but you did it. Okay, so now I'll play the normal move. Okay, knight F3. Okay, now he's playing knight h4. Now what's that do? I'm sorry, knight h5. Is he trying to trap my bishop? See, if I play knight e3, I've cut off my bishop's retreat. So what I'm going to do here is play rook ad1. And the purpose is if he kicks my bishop, then I'll drop it back to c1. And as I was explaining earlier, I used to play the bishop to play b3, bishop b2, bring the rook over and drop the bishop back. So I'll just clear c1 for my bishop. See, this is all about square control. You're trying to maneuver to certain squares, and here I'll make some comments in a moment. Okay, now my move is now e4, and I've played my first 11 moves. Okay, now bishop here, and he'll probably play queen d7, then I'll castle. Okay, so oh, we don't want to go there. That's the video lessons group. Well, guys, if you didn't watch for my challenge, you don't get a game. So I played 6 games last week. That was a lot. It had 4 wins and 2 draws. I maybe was better in one of the draws. I was actually better in both, close to winning in one. The other one I just couldn't find a win, and I started running out of gas. And I don't mind giving up draws. You know, I have no ego. The idea is not to how do we say it? Win games. It's to be instructive. Okay, what's he doing here? He's planning to win a piece. Okay, now if I play knight takes, he gets my rook, and I'm going to drop a piece. Okay, he's on this critter twice, and it's pinned. So maybe I have to go back to d2. Let's think about this for a second. I can play bishop no, I can't play bishop f4, pinning the knight because it'll just drop. But well, I could. Knight takes f4, pawn takes. You know, he wins a piece. Okay, looks like I have to put my knight back on d2. And I still have e3 available for my bishop. Or, I'm sorry, d2. So let's see, knight fd2. If he plays a move like h6 or f6, I can put the bishop on e3, and d4 shouldn't provide me any problem because he's going to run into a pin. But although it does get rid of my anchor, let's look at this. Okay, so I did not see this move coming. And you know, one thing about chess, you may not see a move coming, but if your position's solid, unless you've made a tactical whoops, you know, objectively you'll be should be fine if your position is solid. Let's see. So this move was made possible by the fact I stepped into a pin. Okay, so knight. I'll come back to this. I want to see. I have 82 minutes here. I want to make sure I'm not running into time pressure. Not running into pressure here. My move here. Okay, I'll come back. I have plenty of time. Okay, I'm probably going to have to play knight fd2. Now that I maintain the pin. I mean, he maintains the pin. It's not going away too easily. See, I was trying to play solid chess. The idea is, okay, I'm thinking he wants to kick my bishop when I want to take it off on f6, and I'll create c1 as a flight square for my bishop. Now he's prevented that. So if he's been studying my system, he's found a way to do it, and I give kudos to him for finding that. Okay, so I could play queen e2 here. That might, in a way, that makes some sense. I really don't like the idea of putting my knight back on d2. Queen e2, I step into a pin, but it shouldn't be a problem. Then I can play knight e3 shortly, and I can still drop my bishop back to c1. So I'm thinking queen e2 is a good move. Now suppose he plays queen a5 going after a pawn. Well, then I can play the pawn to a3, although that weakens the b3 square. So let's see. Is there a tactical shot on queen e2? No, I don't think so. So that's what I'll play. Queen e2. Now it's my move here. Okay, so I'll follow some of the logic of the other ones. Rook e1, and I think it's good not to move this rook into e1 until you're ready to start maneuvering minor pieces. If you put it there too early, you may discover you need it on f1. Okay, so it's their move everywhere. Has anybody sent me a message? Let's see, chat. No, not sure. Okay, so it's their move everywhere. Okay. I'm drinking a little coffee here. Okay, there's f6, as I anticipated. Now the bishop comes back to c1. And it's out of the way. It'll come back into play. Now, usually I'm willing to part with that bishop, but in this case, it doesn't get taken. Now I'm going to be playing knight e3 shortly. Okay. Now this is the point where I mouse slipped before, so I'll just castle and avoid that. And we were talking about the game before. Either he's planning to play bishop h3 or castle long. Maybe he's planning both. Naturally, would be if he was going to castle long. Anyway, White's completed his development. Even though the bishop is undeveloped, it's actually developed. Why? Because it's on a long diagonal, okay, and it's gotten the rook out. So Black has one piece to develop. That's his queen rook. That won't be long. My plan is to play e3. What if he plays d4? Okay, I'm sorry, I can't play e3. I mean knight e3. What if he plays d4 to stop that? Well, then I can play knight d2, and the idea is, what is the idea? Well, another idea, knight d2, the idea would be to try to get control of c4, but he can stop with b5. Another idea is for me to play h4 here, and then knight h2, chase that bishop out of there. You see, if I play h3, I drop a pawn. Knight takes f3 check. Bishop takes f3, bishop takes h3. So if he plays d4, I have the move h4. And just a maneuvering situation. And I have plenty of time. This game here started first, so it's the most advanced. And I guess the other guys didn't want to play. They've got challenges. I wonder if they're even still in live chess. Analyze this PGN is still there. I'm going to close this window. Chat window. Okay, analyze. He's online. He didn't play. Well, I can't chase you guys down. I've posted on the video lessons wall that I've started, and I've sent you challenges. Where's this other guy? Ryan Lath. He's online. Well, guys, I've sent you challenges. This is your chance. Are they posting in the general chat? Well, let's try this. Rayan, what's his name? Lath. I've sent you challenges in my simultaneous. Please accept. Okay, let's see what they do. Okay. Okay, so c4. So now he's hitting the d3 square. Okay. Is he planning to put a knight there? Well, if I let him, he would. Let's see. I can take on... Oh, wow. let's see. Let's think about this for a minute. D takes c4. Did not see that coming. D takes c4. Now he's crawling all over d3. Where can my rook go? Go to d4. Can he get at it? So he wants to get a knight to d3. Let's see. Very good question here. Okay. Let's see. He's got some clumsy minor pieces. His bishop on g7 and his knight on h5 are not doing him a whole lot. But he's stopping me from getting done what I'm trying to do. I followed a simple logic of clearing f1 for a knight and clearing c1 for a bishop to do some remaneuvering, and he's managed to find a way to stop me. Okay, so d takes, he'll take with the, I don't care so much if he takes with the knight. It's a good square for the knight, but he's not threatening to go anywhere from hence. But if he takes with the pawn, he's threatening to stick his knight on d3. If I put my rook on d4, he can still put his knight on d3. Then I double rooks. They can play moves like e5 or f5. Let's see. Not too sure about that. Let me look at the other games. Okay, I have 78 minutes. It's his move there, and it's his move here. Okay, so this is my attention. Okay, so let me check my time. I might want to spend 15-20 minutes on this position. I have plenty of time there. Okay. So I can play d4, and he gets knight d3 in, and I'm going to lose the exchange. I can then play, I have an interesting continuation, d4, knight d3, e takes d, and he takes on d1, or e1. I take with the rook, he takes with his pawn. Then I can play queen takes e1 check, he takes with the rook, rook takes e1, check. He's got to get a check, and let's see, I will have a rook and a bishop, no, a rook and knight for the queen. That's not really enough. Kind of tricky here. Darn, let's see. But sometimes, you overlook things, and you got to try to work things out. This is the point where you don't want to rush a move. You want to stop and think. Okay. So, I get the d4 square, but can I do much with it? So pawn takes, pawn takes. How do I cover d3? I've got to move my rook. I have rook d4. He plays, if he plays, yeah, I think I have to give something up here. I've got to move here. Yeah, let's real quick, just a second. can't make up my mind here. Pawn takes, pawn takes. He's threatening knight d3. Of course, somebody sent me a chat. Okay, is this guy on the list? Acidirian, whatever his name is he on the waiting list? Yes, he is. Okay, does he want to play? Getting kind of late. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'll send him a challenge. Okay, challenge to a game. Rated. White. Okay. Then if the other two guys finally accept, then all is well. Okay, let me get this game off and running. Now he's played knight c6, so I go through with the system here. And I still have to figure out a move on this game. Heck. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so somebody else is sending me a chat request. Okay. I sent you a challenge already. Okay, let's see. I sent a challenge a while ago. I did send a challenge. Okay. Gotta do a little bookwork here. Well, I'll try sending him another one. Let's see if it let me send it. Okay, got that game going. Okay. That's my move in this position too. A little messy, but let me see where I'm at here. Okay. Get some moves in. Okay, now it's just a little confusing. You know, we got two late starts. Well, I'm not going to send any new challenges. Okay, he did castle. Now, here's the position where I don't really want to put the bishop on g5. So, what's he planning? h4, h5? Well, I'll just play c3. And, okay, I'm going to play rook d1 here. Okay. Now I got to deal with this position again. Let's see. I got a little distracted here. Forget some of the some of the variations that I'm trying to do. I can play D4. I can take on C4, and I was also looking at a line where I can give up the queen, but I give up a rook for a rook and a queen for 2 rooks and a knight, and I think I get 1 pawn for it, but wasn't entirely sure. So I want to take my time on this one and sort through this one. It's no use giving up material. Although the imbalance created by it is certainly interesting. So I stepped into a pin, and he pressured that 1 square. Okay, who else is bugging me? Is this guy on the list? Where these people come from? Okay. Calix, is he on the waiting list? Yep. So, I don't think I sent him a challenge. Well, I'll play him if he's here. Okay, I'll send him a challenge. I'll get this. Okay, let's just get another game going. Make it 6 games again, just like I did last time. I think it's 6 games, might only be 5. Whoops, don't want to do that. Okay, rated, I'm white, 90-30. All these distractions. Okay. Now back to this game. Let's see. So, what was the line where I was giving up material? I was taking on I was playing D4. He plays knight D3, right? And then I take on D5. He takes on E1. I take on E1. He takes on D5. This pawn. Now my queen takes on E8 check, and then the rook takes. So I've gotten rid of both his rooks and one of his knights. D5 is a weak square. I've given up the queen for a rook and a knight. That's theoretically better than giving up the exchange, so it's something to think about. The only question is, which one do I want to try most? Let's see. Of course, maybe there's something else I'm just not looking at. Oh, well. If I play knight, I've got to take. But that's interesting, though. Let's see. I think it's interesting when you can find a position where you give up some material. Let's see. D4, knight D3, E takes D5, knight takes E1, rook takes E1, E takes D5, queen check on E8, rook check, rook takes E8 check. And like I say, I've got a rook and a knight for the queen, and a little pressure. Now I just don't like it. I think I need to play D takes, and when he takes, he's threatening to put his knight on D3. Of course, well, I'm pretty sure I need to take. Okay, I'll take it. Now knight F6, bishop here. Now let's get these games off and running. Okay, bishop here. We're just going to follow the system. Okay, back to this game. Now, he's threatening knight D3. Oh, now I'm seeing something I didn't see before. I can play knight E3 as per my plan, because if he plays knight D3, he's unprotecting his bishop on G4. Okay, let's get that. What am I missing? I don't think I'm missing anything. Okay. All that work and I didn't even see it. Of course, a little confusion when you're playing a bunch of games and people are messaging you trying to start a game. And I'm more than happy to play this many games. The objective is get you guys a game at tournament style time controls, make you think. It'll improve your chess. Okay. So let's see. Somebody moved. I heard a click. Should flash up to it. Okay, why isn't it refreshing? There's a move. Okay, does that hang a pawn on e5? Not necessarily. Is he threatening to win my pawn on a2? Not necessarily. I can block it in. Knight f1 is the natural move here. And the idea is to put the knight on e3. Okay, knight f1, we'll just kind of follow the maneuvering. Okay, you've given up material here, I think. What am I missing? Knight takes g4, right? Does knight takes g4 win material? He gets 2 pieces for the rook. I mean, I get 2 pieces for the rook. Let's see. Knight e3, knight g4. What am I missing? On knight, whoops. What am I missing on, I started to play it instead of thinking it. I'm just getting 2 pieces for the rook. Unless I'm missing something. Okay, knight takes g4. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'll continue with the system here. Okay, d3. What's he playing? Knight f6. Okay, castle. He gets my rook. I've got 2 minor pieces for the rook. Okay, c5. Now I go through with bishop g5. Okay, castle here. Okay, now I've got two pieces for the rook. So if you count the pieces, black has 2 rooks, a queen, a knight, and a bishop. That's 5 pieces. I have a queen, 2 knights, 2 bishops, and a rook. That's 6 pieces. I have 1 extra piece. So objectively, my bishop and knight will grind out as rook in the long run. Now, one thing I'd like to do is get control of the square d5. If I can get his pawn to advance to e5, it further shuts his bishop in and it gives me control of d5. So the first move I was looking at was bishop f4, but it's something I thought about before that doesn't work. He'll get his, he'll just take it with his knight. The question is my knight misplaced on g4? Where's he trying to go? Is he trying to put a rook on d3? I could go and threaten his pawn on c4 with bishop f1. They might play rook d3. And then I can put my queen on c2, and no, I can't do that. I'll lose a piece. The knight on f3 is hanging. What I was looking at was bishop f1, rook d3, queen c2. I'm trying to force the rook back, but it just forces it to f3. My rook on e1 isn't doing me a whole lot. I could play rook d1, and if he trades, he can get control of the file, but I can chase him out of there. In the long run, I'll grind him down. Rook e1, I think, is a good move here. Okay, now I continue with my development here, and I continue with my plan here, and I continue here. How many games do I have? 5 or 6? I'm not sure, but I'm going to keep playing. Okay, he took. Now, one drawback with the black game here is look at his time, 87.5 minutes for 20 moves. That's way too quick. Okay, and now I put the queen on c2. And if I need to cover d1 a little more, I can play the knight back to e3. Okay. So we're looking at squares. We're not looking at trading what pieces can do yet. We're occupying squares. Okay, so now he's threatening queen to d1 check. So like I say, I take d1 away from him. He can't put his queen on d1. He can put his queen on d3, and I will take it. And his passed pawn won't go anywhere, as we'll see when we come back to it. Now, I go through with the system here. Bishop g5. Let's see. What did he play? Castle. Okay, now I continue with the system. c3. And he's castled. Okay, I continue with the system. c3. And let's see. Here, just have to make sure they aren't surprising you somehow. Queen c2. That's the move. Now I play knight bd2 here. See how easy this is to play? As long as you're not accidentally hanging a piece or a pawn, your first 10 moves are set. What can be hard about that? How many games have you ever seen where somebody's in time control or used an hour on their first 10 moves? Well, you can do your first 10 moves in 1 minute using this system. Okay, not quite done with my coffee. The video is now at 41 minutes. And b5. Okay, a little ambitious. Just follow through with the system. Don't try to do any early refutation. Just follow through with the system. Okay, so I think I have everybody's move here. Let's see. f5. Okay. Now he's opened up a diagonal for his bishop, but at the same time he has weakened e5 a little bit. So I've got a free pawn sitting there on c4, but that allows him some play on the back rank. So for instance, knight takes c4, he has queen d1 check, and queen takes, then rook takes. So what I'll do here is, am I worried too much about him taking this pawn on e4? Pawn takes, queen takes. Anything my queen should worry about? Probably not. He's not pressuring it. So I'll increase the pressure on c4 and invite him to play b5. Okay. Okay, do I want to do that? Let's see. Like I say, I've got the extra piece on the board. I now have 5 pieces. He has 4. One thing I could do is take on f5. That does give me control of d5 that I was talking about. Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and do that. Takes away the nuisance value of him taking. Okay, I'll just take it. Okay, now f6, he's trying for a pawn center. He's also stopping my bishop g5. Oh, I played the wrong move, that's why. Okay, well, just going too fast. So, I didn't play bishop g5. Okay, so I'll just continue with the system. Now the bishop stays here, but I'm accustomed to that. I'm just going to follow through with what I was doing and let the system take care of itself. Okay, so now I've got d5 is mine. How I want to take advantage of that. Let's see. Knight d1 is no good. Knight d2 is interesting. Knight d2, b5, bishop. I can check there. I mean, I've got control of the square, but what else do I have? Bishop f1 weakens f3. We've been through that. Let's see. I can put a knight on g5. That threatens bishop d5 check. Let's see, knight g5. Queen d3. Knight g5, queen d3, bishop d5 check, rook takes. Now I can't take with the knight because my queen hangs. That's an interesting continuation. Knight g5 is trying to play bishop d5 check. What if he plays queen d3? Then I take it. And if he takes with the rook, I have bishop d5 check. Knight g5 might be a good move here. Knight g5. He can play knight f6. That gets his knight back into play. I don't know. You know, I'm more of a positional guy. When I can, I'll fight for squares and do the tactics later. Let's see. Knight g5. Knight f6. Stops me from putting my critter on d5. Gets his knight back into play. Okay, the alternative was bishop f1, which, if anything, it covers my back rank. Invites him to play b5. Which weakens c6 and c5, but I'm early poised to get into c5. I need this knight on e3 is serving as an outpost guy. He's covering d1. I mean, not an outpost guy, just a nuisance in his side. Of course, I can get the after bishop c f1 b5, I can play b3 and threaten to get the queen activated. Yeah, bishop f1 just seems right. Knight g5 might work tactically, but he has knight f6, and that gets his knight back in play. Although his knight doesn't really have a future, my knight's kind of hung out to dry on g5. Okay, I'll just play bishop f1. Okay, he took here, so now we take back with the pawn. Okay. Now e4. Okay. And let's see, bishop b7. I play e4 here. Okay, now he's played bishop g4. Now I play queen c2. Okay. And how many games do I have? I don't even know. I either have 5 or 6. Let's see. One game ended. The one where I made a mouse slip. Okay, put his queen on c6. Now he's attacking a knight, but he gives up a pawn with check. Okay, so he's playing too quick. Bishop takes c4 check. And then I save my knight. Okay, bishop takes c4 check. What does he do? Okay, check. Free pawn. Now one of these games ended. Let's see, he's played rook d8. Okay, very even game. Knight's pressuring e4, so I have to make sure that I don't get deflected. My queen get deflected away. So knight e3 is thematic. Yeah, knight e3. Okay. See, I knew this was coming. Okay, he's going to try to attack me. Well, one thing he's got to watch out for is I'm going to try to attack him. So I'll just let him do what he wants to do. Go ahead and have your attack. Okay. Now I've got to cover my knight on d2. I mean f3. So where do I put it? One good move is just queen e2. Then my bishop is safe, and let's see, queen e2. My bishop's overprotected, and I'm on d5. So that's what I'll do. Queen comes back to e2. Okay, I'm trying to find out how many games I have. 1, 2, I think I have 6. It feels, my instinct says 5, but it feels like 6. Okay, there's 3. That's 4. 5. Yeah, I do have 6. Yeah, 6, just like last week. Okay, good. I'm glad I got 6 games out of the way. Maybe I have 7. Or no, I think that 1 is the game that ended, unless when we restarted. When we restarted, I heard a click cluck. What was that? The game end? Yep. Oh, he left. Oh, darn it. Game abandoned. Sorry. Well, I'm sorry if it says you may have violated the fair play policy. I'll keep the chat open. Well, you've disconnected. I'll give you another chance to play me next week. Okay, let's see. Knight d7. So now does my bishop get trapped? I have to make sure it doesn't get trapped. I don't think it will. So we just go forward with the system and play e4. Okay. Now queen e4. Now he's pinning this guy. Here's an interesting line. Bishop d5. Well, he's trying to play... See, the idea of bishop d5 is if rook takes... No, I can't take with the knight because my queen will hang. I was looking at queen takes, then queen check, but he has queen back. Okay, so is he planning to put his queen on b1? I don't know. What else can he do in this position? How do I play knight d2? That attacks his queen and covers the b2 square. It blocks my bishop in, but that bishop will come into play soon enough. Of course, I have knight g5, queen b1, knight f7 check, king g8, knight takes d8 check. I can live with that and break the pin. I think knight g5 does him in. Knight g5 attacks his queen, threatens knight f7 check, and I can always cover the bishop on c1. Okay, knight g5. Now's the time for the knight g5. Okay. Now he's pushing. Now here, like I say, I don't take on this square. One of the anchors of this position is this pawn on c3. I wish to maintain that. So, let's see. Go through with the rook e1 idea. I also get the c5 square here. I'm sorry, c4. So one move I can do, I was doing last week, is play a4 to secure c4. Let's go ahead and play a4 here. A lot of times I don't like playing it because it weakens the b3. Okay, he did play there. Okay, so now check. And he's going to drop his rook with check. Then I cover the bishop on c1. Okay. Now that falls. Check. Okay, so now I can check him again. How about if I bring the knight back to d1? That way if queen takes fc1, I play queen e8 check, and it's mate next. Where's that knight come from? e3? Let me just dump him on d8. See, he can play knight f6. And, well, yeah. Okay, knight d1. It works. Knight d1. I'm up 2 pieces. Knight f6. Knight f7 check. King g8. There's got to be a mate in there somewhere. Okay, there come the pawns. Okay, fine. The best way to meet a wing attack is to play in the center. This weakens d3, but I don't care so much about that because his attack will end if he drops a queen in on d3. Okay, so now he's played a5. Now, the drawback with that is it weakens the b5 square. I had a game example of that last week. And my knight went to c4, I think, to a3 and b5. So we'll look along that line down the line. Let's see. Okay, this game apparently is ended. He disconnected. I will give you another chance. Let's do a quick run through and I'll close the window. Oh, that's my move here. Okay, now I'll come back and look at that. Well, let's just get it out of the way so I can close the window. Which one was it? Well, I don't see where it is. I'll come back to it. Okay, what's happening here? Uh, is he trying for f5? Well, fine, let him. My bishop on g2 is not doing much. I can maybe play for d6 with knight b5. I'm sorry, knight c4. Well, the knight goes to d6. Where does it go next? How about just bishop f1? He might try b5, but that's okay. That's my move somewhere. Okay, now let's see. I've played my 10 moves, or out of the book. Okay, rook e1. He took. I take back. Okay. He took my bishop. Now he gets checkmated, right? Check. Okay, so he's putting a knight on e5 on my bishop. Oh, clever. Okay. Well, I'm going to get the bishop pair out of this. Do I want to move my bishop? Then knight takes, b takes. Okay, I got to take it, I think. Okay, now it's checkmate here, I do believe. Checkmate. Okay. Now, pressure on d3 indirectly, so I'll go here. Who's sending me an alert? Okay, let's try to clear up some of these ended games. What's this doing here? What? Oh, this is what I'm looking through. Okay. It's like thinking how this game start. Okay, we had basically an even game. I played the first 10 moves against whatever he had, or 11. First 10 moves and game ended. Okay, we'll try next time. Let me close this window. I won that. Now what else is happening here? This is a checkmate. No, you don't get a rematch. Okay, because I'm playing a simul. I would be here all day. Sorry. Let's go back. This one was giving me some difficulty. So I give him some clever play. I spent some time on this one. It started first, so it's more advanced. Okay, I followed the first 10 moves. And now, I haven't really seen this move before, and I'm trying to be creative. And here I stepped into a pin. By being creative, I've cleared f1 for a minor piece, and I've cleared c1 for my bishop. And then all of a sudden, you see, I'm all happy. Whoops, looking at this other game. I'll come back to it in a second. My move here. Okay, as I said, the purpose is to maintain this control of c4, d4 and c4. Now, which game was it that I was looking at? No, not that one. Not that one. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay, so he surprised me with c4. I've got all these visions of, he's trying to take on d3 and win a trapped rook. So I spent a long time trying to figure this out. Came up with some creative ideas to give up the queen and a rook for 2 rooks and a knight. But just didn't seem to be reasonable. Then I discovered that if I attack his bishop on g4 when his knight comes to d3, he's no longer protecting his bishop, and his crime was he moved too fast. He's basically played off the increment in a little bit of time here. So now I have 2 pieces for the rook, and the game is easy, and he's helping me out by trading. And now I just start covering squares. He can't penetrate. He can penetrate on d3. If queen d3, I'll take it. And if his pawn takes it, it's not going anywhere. I'll just end up surrounding that pawn and winning it. And I decided just okay to take. And I held back from playing knight g5. But it came up at a later stage. I get a free pawn with check and guard my knight. And I figured he's trying... there, somebody moved again. come back and finish that one off in a minute. Okay, what did he play? Knight back to c6. Okay, so weak pawn a4, weak square b5, b6. How about if I just attack the pawn and see what he does? Okay. Now he's played a5. Now we've got this f1 square cleared. Let's put the knight there. That's what I've been doing. Okay, now back to the game I won. We'll finish that off and close it. Where is it? I don't see it. Okay, he's using his time. That's good. Good to see you guys taking your time, all right? Trying to find the one game that's over. Where did it go? There it is, up here. You can't see what I'm clicking on the side. So now I play knight g5, and I'm forking the queen in the f7 square, so he's losing material. All I can try is this. I get the rook with discovered check, so now I'm up 2 pieces. And now I just threaten queen e8 check. His best move would have been knight f6, but white's for choice here. I can just play bishop g5, and game is soon over. Okay, so let's see. That was against Mangja Shai Despande. Very interesting name. Okay, let's close that one. And 2 games over, right? 1 game lost on time and 1 game by checkmate. Okay, so now I've got a target on b3. I've got a square on b5. Got to do some maneuvering here. First step, we've got to create some more weaknesses. Let's just put the rook on b5 and see what he does. Okay. Got time to maneuver around here. And I think I got everybody's clock running. I'm an hour and 2 minutes into this, and I'm down to 4 games. Okay. And got their clock running in every case. All right. I got everybody thinking. And I'm glad you guys are thinking. Okay, somebody moved. What is this, the move? Knight b6. Look, what's he aiming for? c4? Or he's keeping that c4? I thought b5 would have been a more interesting move. Okay, c4 is a Mexican standoff. In other words, neither one's controlling the square. I can't play there, he can't play there. Could I play a4 with the idea of a5, driving him out so I can go there? Then my a5 pawn becomes weak. Let's see. I could always get a pawn chain, a4, a5, then b4, then I have c3, b4, a5. I've got control of c4 for what it's worth. Now, yeah, the game's even. I'm trying to maybe eventually trade off my light squared bishop for his light squared bishop and give me a good bishop versus, or a good knight versus a bad bishop. So I'm going to go ahead with a4 and see what he does. Okay, now he took. Okay, I don't mind this. He can have control of d3. Okay, queen c7. Now what's happening here? Time to develop another rook. Okay. h4 is expected. Okay, now if he takes, I want to take back with the f-pawn. So let's see. But I have to be careful about, yeah, I have to take back with the f-pawn for the variations, whereas bishop goes to h3, trades, and brings his queen down and mates me on h1. So since I need to develop my queen side, now's the time for knight c4. And I don't mind queen d3 trading queens. It's not a problem. I don't mind h3. That cuts his attack down. Okay, now my move. Okay, here he's gone to that. Spent the tempo. Okay, now I just play rook here and keep the pressure on. Okay, not sure where it's going yet, but maybe I'll plan bishop f4 and try to force his pawn up to e5, cutting off the diagonal of his bishop. Okay, now let's see. He took here, and now I'll just go ahead with the thematic knight e3. Okay, and I've got them all thinking. Good. Okay, so I'm more of a positional player, and if you just put your pieces on good squares, you don't need to think about tactics. And okay, that close this chat here. You can't see it on the screen. Here, I'll bring it over. Can we play, please? I sent a challenge a while ago, which I did, and it's even posted on the group wall. Okay, so I resent it, and unfortunately, he disconnected and lost the game. But I will give you another chance to play. You didn't lose your spot. I'm not going to punish you. Okay, so I'm down to 4 games, and he drove me out, but that's fine. In doing so, he's displaced his knight. So I'll just put the rook back on b2 and go from there. Okay, now I've tied his queen down and his rook down for what it's worth. If you watched the video from last week, the game against Romanik was very interesting. I was doing all this maneuvering with my knight. Okay, he's just given up the d5 and e5 squares. So first step is to, d5 and f5 is to go try to occupy them. Let's tickle his bishop. Okay, knight e3. Now he's pushing b4. I don't mind that. That gives my knight c4. So knight c4. d5, do I mind d5 so much? I'll just put it there. Okay, he did play a5. Now he's got a weakness on a5. Let's get some more control over c4. And this is how we do it. Okay, knight d2. Okay, queen d6. Okay, now, as I say, I want to create some kind of weakness elsewhere in his position. Where's his queen going? Anywhere I should worry about? Someone's making noise with a leaf blower outside. I don't know if you can hear it on this, but okay. Bishop f4, the idea of that is to induce e5. He doesn't necessarily have to play it. Could play bishop e5. I could play bishop g7. I need to get my bishop on e2 better posted. d5 would be a great square if I can get him to play e5. If I move my queen on c2, I clear d1 so the bishop can get to b3. Of course, he can't play bishop e5. His queen is overworked. Bishop f4, bishop e5, bishop takes e5, queen takes e5, rook takes b6. So bishop here is the move. Okay, now he has come back. Okay, now, the one thing missing in my position is the fact that my queen side remains undeveloped. I do have control of d5 and f5. I'm not afraid of h3 at all. Should I be afraid of g4? g4, knight takes h4. He could sack on h4. I think I can survive that because he doesn't have development on his king side. Tricks with knight f5 to try to get him give up a pawn to get his queen baited down. I could also play rook d1. He moves his queen. I take on d8 check. That kind of breaks his attack a little bit. Rook d1, he could play bishop d6, although that bishop's not doing him much good. Then I could play knight d5. and can't develop his knight because a knight takes f6. Not sure if I want to move my rook just yet, but I got to get my bishop into play. I could also play b4. That takes c5 away from him, and it might invite a potential b5. Okay, b4, queen d3 to pressure c3. Queen takes, rook takes. Now he's on c3, so my bishop can go to b2. He can't go to the 8th, 7th rank. Yeah, b4. I want to start my own attack here. That's the reason I want to play this. Since he's playing for an attack, I need to play for an attack too. You do this in opposite side castling, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so now he's brought his bishop back to c8. What have I accomplished? Okay, I play e5, pawn takes, knight takes. Nope, can't play that. e5, pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes. I drop a piece. Is somebody sending me a message? I heard a little click. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. What's happening here? I've just put a knight on c4. Now if I play rook e2, preserve options of doubling on a couple different spots. Okay, good. Now I've forced a weakness on d5. Okay, so now we park this bishop somewhere. And if he plays f5, I think he's asking for it because he's really weakening his king side. Okay, so bishop goes to e3, and we wait. Okay, I think I've got everybody moving, or everybody thinking. Okay, rook b8. Now what was I just did this to double, preserve the option of doubling. I'll play d4. Play for d4 break. d4, pawn takes. No, they give up b5 or b4, but he's given that up himself. d4. Yeah, let's just double since we can. Wait developments. Okay, so we're an hour and 12 minutes in, and it's their move everywhere. Okay, he's thinking, and I still have a little bit of coffee left, so I'm going to stand up, stretch my legs, and I'll be back in about 2 minutes. So this video will be kind of quiet for 2 minutes. Sorry, be back. Okay, I'm back now. I was saying F5 might be a mistake by him because it weakens his light squares. Let's see. This is the only, I think the other games are pretty much even. This is one I might be getting an advantage in at some point. I just have to find the right way to do it. He doesn't have a light squared bishop, so objectively what I want to do is get that bishop activated. How do I do that? Well, I would love to get it on d5, but it's a long way to get there. Queen d2, for instance, clears d1, and then bishop to d1 to b3. It'll be with check. I do have a check on b3 now if I want it. But, you know, moves like queen d2 fail because he has f4 and my bishop gets trapped, right? So queen c1 with the same effect, he might play f4, and then he might follow up with f3. Then my bishop kind of gets deactivated. So the question is, do I want to take at any point? The one weak square in my position would be f2, but my bishop on e3 covers it. So if I take, he's got a dilemma, how to take back. If he takes with the pawn, he might be able to get f4 in at some point. But I should be able to cover f2 easily. What I'm trying to do is get my bishop on e2 into the game. And if he ever pushes f4, that'll weaken the e4 square, which would be an ideal square for my bishop. So I'm going to go ahead and take. Okay, now he did play bishop d6 anyway, a move I was anticipating. Now, I could play knight d5. The point being, if he takes, I take with the pawn, and he has to move his knight. So moving, of course, he could also play f5, and I can't take because I would unprotect my knight on d5. So I think logic says I need to develop my bishop. Let's just do that. Where do I want to put it? I'm talking about the bishop on c1. Let's put him on d2. Okay, or b2 I mean. Okay, now he's after the knight. Okay, so I don't want him taking that knight. I will put the knight back on e3 once it came. So he's equalized. Everyone's equalized. Okay, took with the rook. Now e4 is mine, but I can't get there directly, so I have to tickle his rook. Of course, I can put the bishop back on f1, and then it'll get to e4. Let's see. Yeah, let's put it on f1. Let's see. We'll consider bishop g4 for a second. His rook backs up. I can't get to f3. Yeah, I'll just put him on f1. Okay. And I've got everybody thinking. But this is good for everyone. They get a long game against a high-rated player, so they get a chance to think. I'm somewhat handicapped by having to play what's now 4 games. I can't devote the full attention I would. If I was playing 4 players of equal strength, equal to mine, I would I would be getting murdered here because I need that time to find the good moves. Okay, so now this is pretty easy. I take back with the pawn, and I've got b2 covered. Game's even. So he has a good hour on his clock. Let's look at the times real quick. Okay, 76 to 46 minutes. I've got a time advantage here. He's down to 37 minutes, and then we just looked at that 67 minutes, and he has a lot of time. So is he moving a little quick? Potentially. Okay, so rook back to f8. Okay. Now I'm getting ready to bring my bishop into play. Get this bishop activated. Okay. Now d3 is only weak for a moment. And if he ever maneuvers his knight over to, say, d6 to capture my bishop, which would be on e4, I can take back with my d-pawn, and he's got a lot of pawns on the remaining color of his bishop, which is remaining. It'll be on the color of his bishop. So I would have a good bishop, he would have a bad one. Okay, so now I'm just getting squares for my pieces right now. The bishop's going to e4, and then I'll work out the next phase from there. You don't have to have a complete plan all the time. I guess if you're grandmaster, you'll be looking at more ideas like, theoretically, h4, h5 at some point, king g2, rook h1. I can consider all these plans later. When you play good positional chess, the rest of the moves just follow. You don't need to calculate variations far in advance. Okay, so now, still not sure what he's doing. Which rook to d1? I'll put the f rook there. That just gives me a little leeway. I don't need to play defense so much on the king side, and I'll preserve a rook on the queen side, because I'm going to be starting my own pawn storm here momentarily. Not yet, but I will be. Okay. Now he moved his knight to c8. Okay. Let's see. I'll just play positional and put the bishop on e4. Okay. Now again, I don't mind so much if he plays his knight to d6 and trades it off, because he'll have a pretty bad bishop. And we'll go from there. Okay, so he wants to double his rooks on the file. Okay, fine. My knight on f3 is pretty safe, so now it's time to play bishop f1. Okay, so just positional chess. Black has an equal game. I accept that. That's what you accept when you play this opening. Your opponent's going to equalize, but then you try to outmaneuver him, as I've been explaining in the games today, and the games last week, and the games to come. So will he try to triple on the file and penetrate? Well, let him. Okay, doubled. Now, do I want to try to break with d4? d4 attacks his bishop. Let's see, d4, bishop takes f1, king takes f1, c takes. I'm giving up b4. That's what I don't like about that. I don't want to give up b4. Okay, maybe some of my maneuvering has been wrong. Maybe I should have kept d2 open and for a knight to get over there and fight for c4. I can play queen a4. Now for rook b2, I can play rook takes b2, rook takes b2. He might also play bishop b5, just to chase my queen back. My knight on f3 needs to get into play. How can I do that? H4, knight h2, knight g4. That's kind of slow. That's an idea. I'll play something like knight e1 here. Where's the knight go next? That's a good question. Knight g4 right away, threatens to double his pawns. Bishop e7. E5. Do I want to get that in? Play d5 then. Then my e5 pawn becomes a target. How do I get a knight to c4? Knight to d2 to b1 to a3 to c4. Man, that's a lot of moves. Rook to e2. Well, then when I play knight d2, he gets rook b2 in. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I'm happy just to keep the game even and await mistakes. Both sides are fully mobilized. It doesn't mean he's going to make a mistake. Of course, I can put the knight back on c4 at some point if he takes, although I have double pawns. They're covering a lot of squares and gives me an immediate target on d6. I've accepted double pawns in similar positions. When I brought it back to e3 when he threatened double pawns. I didn't consider that, partly with time constraint. A3 just puts the pawn on a weak square. He attacks it with rook b3 because I'd be giving him that square. What if I just slowly but surely try to improve my position and await developments? Let's just play bishop e2. Okay, I'm not very ambitious here. Okay, now he's trying to get on the H file. Okay, is he attacking anything I should worry about? H2 is covered unless he eliminates that knight on f3. So, how if I play knight d5? Nothing's guarding my queen, so if bishop takes, rook takes. Knight d5 allows bishop g5, but then I can take on f6 and I pick up the bishop. Yeah, knight d5. Okay. They played knight to e7, so he's trying to come to f5. Okay, fine, you can have f5. I'm going to threaten to win a pawn. How am I going to do that? You will see. Rook b5. The idea is threatening queen b6 check and rook takes b6. Okay. And I got everybody thinking. Okay, he's got 46 minutes left. Yeah, really got him thinking here. Is this clock moving? Or did I win this game? It looks like I won. Yeah, disconnection. Well, you'll be able to play again. Okay, I'm terribly sorry about that. If you want to repeat these same moves with me next time, we will do that. Okay, so, oops, wait, what's going on here? You've disconnected but reconnected. Okay, knight g4. Okay, you are trying to do what to me? Take on h2. Okay. Okay, let's see. How about if I pin you with bishop h3? That'll provide a little potential defense to the pawn on h2 with my queen. Bishop h3. If you move your knight, I'm going to take on e6 check. Bishop h3. The idea is bishop takes g4. Bishop takes g4. Knight takes. Queen moves. Knight takes. Yeah, I think this works. If it doesn't, I've got a big oops on my hand. Okay, looks like the game with blue rook ended, unfortunately. Let's do a quick run through on this one. Again, we can play the same moves next time if you want, but I'll give you another game. Okay, so I'm just following the system. Knight takes, and my first 11 moves done. I clear a square for the minor piece on f1. I occupy it, and I occupy another one. Now we're fighting over the c4 square, and it was anybody's game here. The game was even. He left the chat. I'll just post in the simul thread the 2 disconnections get to come back. And I'm down to 3 games. Okay. Here I'm threatening to win a pawn. It might induce him to bring his knight back to c8. No, he played there. Okay. Queen b3 check, followed by rook takes. Now what have I got left here? So I've got the advantage here. This game is dead even. He's got an hour left. I've got 72 minutes left. I think I'm getting an advantage here, or I'm going to get checkmated. Let's see. Excuse me. Okay. The simul has now lasted 1 hour and 33 minutes. I have 3 games remaining. He has a half an hour left. He has an hour left. And he has an hour and 15 minutes left. I'm close to getting... Okay, this one's a close to decisive advantage. This one's dead even. And this one is shaky. But maybe not that shaky. Okay, the trick is HG, bishop takes g4. He can take on h2 with his pawn, but my king goes and tucks himself on h1. And, ooh, got to be careful about one thing here. Let's see. HG, oh, somebody else moved. Okay, now I'll get this pawn. Okay, I won a pawn. And he has 3 isolated pawns. Okay, so HG, bishop takes g4, bishop takes g4, knight takes f6. Oh, wait, hg, bishop takes, check, king in the corner, bishop takes. Wait, I'm doing something wrong here. Hg, bishop takes, check, king in the corner, bishop takes. Now, my knight, well, he moved here. There's a problem there. I might have to give up my queen there if my king goes in the corner. Just didn't get a chance to look at it all. I knew there was one possible tactical flaw with all this, but here I've just won a pawn, and I have control of the b file, and he's got weak pawns. So, hg, bishop takes, hg check, king in the corner. Of course, I don't have to go to the corner. I can go up to g2. Then I play knight takes f6. The idea is to be able to take this bishop after all that stops. I think I'm okay here. Okay, he protected his queen. Now he's going to lose another pawn. Queen takes. Okay, now he did play there. Okay, I win 2 rooks for the queen. I think this works out for me. Oh, he got that pawn out of it. All right, well, fine. You got the pawn. You got b4. Okay, well, fine. Let's see. What's he threatening? Anything I should worry about? Let's put the rook on b3. Okay. Now, do I win a second pawn here? Bishop takes. He puts his rook on. I can't put on c6. My bishops are too strong. I'm threatening rook b7. Okay. He did play that. Okay. Now it's now or never. Okay. I take here. We'll see what happens. He did. Okay. If I take his bishop, his knight gets a great outpost. Or if I play knight c2. Knight, I don't know. Let me think about that for a second. So my move over here, I got 72 minutes. What's wrong here? Okay, now 1, 2, 3. I have 6 pawns. He has 4. Let's just go tie something down here. Threaten to win a piece. Okay, now knight takes f6. He plays bishop takes f3. Saves the, I knew this one was shaky. Got to stop and figure this one out. How much time do I have? 80 minutes. Okay. I knew this one was shaky. I'm in trouble. I want to play knight takes f6. That was the whole idea. Well, I got 80 minutes to figure it out. Well, I actually don't have 80 minutes. I've got other games going. Let's see. What's happening here? Am I down a piece? No, I'm not down a piece. But I could be down a piece unless I save my knight on f3. So, with all that in mind, Let's see. Knight takes f6. What if he plays bishop takes f3? I can take his queen. And I've taken the steam out of the threat on h2, right? I don't know. I can't figure these things out. No, actually I can if I stop and take my time. You know, some people can most people can calculate a little quicker than I. I make up for it by the fact that I won't rush a move when I'll know when not to rush a move. I'm thinking I can get away with knight takes f6. That's what all this has been predicated on. But I have to make, you know, I have to take corrective measures. And if I discover that in the process that I've committed an oops, then I have to admit it and try to find the best way to continue, even if I have to give up a piece. Try to find a continuation where everything is salvageable. I don't know. Let's see. I'm thinking I can play knight takes f6. That's what I'm thinking. Knight takes f6. What's he do? He takes on g2. And what king g2. Oh, there's a flaw here. The flaw is, yeah, he's wishing zug me. Well, I'm going to have to lose a piece here, I think. Yeah. Let's see. I knew this was shaky going in. Yeah, I just have to give up a piece. Oh well. No big deal. Okay, now what's happening here? Let's see. What am I? I've got two rooks for the queen and pawn. Let's see. Do I put the knight on c4 or c2? That is the question. Where do I want to put it? Or do I want to let him take it? Yeah, I just don't know. Sometimes you just have to clear your head here. By that I mean just count what you have and what you don't have. I don't have a queen. I don't have, but I have three minor pieces. I don't have, my a pawn is weak. My d3 pawn is a little weak, but it's not fatal. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Knight c4. See, he can get into b4 with his knight, but I can chase him out with a3. You can also kick my rook out with a4. So just got to think of positional considerations here. How can I best utilize my pieces? Let's see. Knight c4. I kind of like that, but knight c2. It just seems an awkward place to put the knight because where does it go next? I like knight c4 better. Sometimes you have to go by instinct, and that's what instinct tells me. Okay, now he took that piece. Now he's on my rook. Okay, at least I got f2 covered. Let's go attack his bishop and see what happens. Okay, now he's guarding that. Okay, his knight's tied down. His bishop's tied down. I don't have any weaknesses. Let's go after this pawn. Okay, now it's my move. He took a pawn. Oh, you brat. Okay, well, fine. He's on my knight. Oh my goodness. Rook f1 was a horrible move. God, when these things go bad, they go bad. Okay. Let's see. What's happening here? What's happening in this one? Okay, it's his move. It's his move. And I'm talking about taking time and finding the right move, and I didn't even see that. Okay. Am I dropping two pieces here? Knight takes f6, bishop takes, knight takes h2, rook takes. See if I... My queen vacates the second rank, I get mated. So, what did he grab there? A pawn? I had to put the rook on e1. I wasn't even thinking. Okay, you're going to win this. Good game. I'm just going to take this and play down two pieces. Try a little bit. Okay, now you're on that guy. Well, I still have a pin, so I'll just take your pawn on a5. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Don't want to go to the video. Don't want to go there. Wrong thing. Okay. I'm clicking the wrong tabs. Okay. Now you think about it. Okay, what's happening here? It's his move. Yeah. Okay. His move. I got him all thinking again. So, got 3 games left. Now I have to take his queen. Okay. He went there. I don't know. Do I want to take on d5? And play knight b6. You can block with knight b4. Gotta watch out. Let's see. This does make a weakness on d5. I'm not sure if knight b6 is the way to do it. I think I need to take. Okay. He took there. Now, what am I down? 2 pieces? Okay. I can play rook f2. Attack his bishop. Go from there. Okay. Did he move? There he did. Okay. That knight's not going anywhere I should worry about. I'll just save my bishop. Protect my pawn. Okay. Now, I think b6 is a little risky. If he really wants to take that guy, he can have it. Okay, knight e3 on d5. Okay. Down 2 pieces. My goodness. He'll play e4 here. I'll play bishop c1. Okay. Oh, wrong tab. Okay, what have I got left? 3 games. I thought he would play e4. Well, he didn't. Okay, got to get this bishop into play. King there. Let's see. Let's just check him and start advancing my pawn. Okay. Okay, so game's about even. He's got a pawn for the fact that he's won my queen for 2 rooks. He's got hanging pawns. Oh, I move. Okay, g4. I might move somewhere else. I'll find out in a minute. What I want to do here. Let's advance this pawn. Get it out. Oh, I'll just put it on a3. Reinforce. Okay. He took. Okay. Now we both got a couple of hanging pawns. He's going to try for c4. I don't know what he's going to try for. Okay, 3 games left. He's in check here. Okay, now it should be routine if I just take this off. Check. Bishop g5. Okay, now how far can that pawn go unmolested? If I put it on a5, you can get to a6. He can put his king on b8. I put my bishop on c5. Let's just get it running. He can play knight c6, but then I just take it off and activate my king and game over. I'm not going to give him bishop opposite colors. Okay, let's see. What's happening here? I took there. He's got 52 minutes. He wants to trade rooks. Well, what if I don't want to trade rooks? Because I don't. Where am I going to put the rook? Let's put him on d2. Okay. Now I take this off. Centralize my king, and game over. Okay, he's doubling his rooks. He's wanting to check down there. Okay, fine. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. Like I'm down 2 pieces. Can't do much about it. Okay. King g2, see what happens. Okay, now I just march my king up the board. Okay. b5, anchoring his critter in. Let's stop you from let's just break up the doubled rooks, see what happens. Okay. I'll come back here. Okay, what's happening here? And the simul is almost 2 hours long. Last one went 3 hours and 40 minutes. I got 2 games that should objectively are over. Okay, I was wondering about when he would do that. Where do I want to put my rook? Let's see. b2, he might go to a3. Rook c3. Knight b4 is on my pawn. Knight a3. Where I'll put the rook. Might be safer to bring him back to b1. And knight b4 comes in. Yeah, I think the rule is you got to keep your rooks connected. Okay. Now he parked his rook where to attack my critter. That wasn't nice. How about if I just defend it? Okay, now my king comes up the board. Okay. King b2, I need a move here. Rook b2. Okay, just need a move. I've got everybody thinking again. Want to get my king up to f2 here. Secure the pawn a little bit. Okay, you can take my pawn, but you're going to have a lost king and pawn ending. Queen A7. So what's he trying to do? Push C4 and attack E3? Because I need to cover that pawn. King F2, C4. What happens? What's happening if that happens? C4. Well, I've got E4 covered, or E3 covered. Let's just get it covered now. King F2. Okay, his move. Game's objectively even. You know, it's easy to get over optimistic when you have two rooks for the queen. I mean, the pawn isn't much compensation, but I need to stay solid. Okay, now you're going into a lost king and pawn ending. Your best bet was bishop c7 and make me work, but now I've got 5 pawns, you've got 2, and that's the game. Let's see. I'll just send my king after your pawns. Okay, that game should end soon. He's still playing. Let's see, he doubled his rooks. What's he threatening? Rook f1. We could play that anytime. So I just bring my rook back. Aha. Show me what you got. You got 2 pieces. That's what you got. Okay, was it my move here? Okay, I'll just play c4. Now that pawn's threatening to run. Yeah, he resigned. Okay. I knew that check was coming at some point. He's planning to put it on h3 and do a mate. Aha. Well, let's see. Where do I want to put it? Let's put it here. King g1. Okay, let's go through this game real... Whoops, wrong one. Oh, my move. Okay, I know what you're trying to do, and I'm going to stop you. Rook f2. Draw offer. See if you're feeling generous. Oh, oops, wrong button. Okay. Normally I don't offer draws, but see what he says. Okay, this game ended. Okay, what went wrong here? Okay. I have a dead even game for the longest time, and he gave me the b5 and c4 square, and he stopped my knight from ever getting to b5 by maintaining control of b4 and d4, and had a weakness, and I just... Oops. Okay, back to this. Which one was it? Okay, this one. Let's cover the moves. Okay, so I got a weakness. I attacked it. He defended it. And then I forced a weakness on the light squares. And here I opened up a diagonal for my bishop. My bishop got activated. And now it's on a good square. He maybe should have tried to trade it up. He would have bad bishop. And now tactically I win a pawn, and his game starts falling apart. I can win another pawn, activate the rook, go win another pawn, and there's not much you can do. The rooks come off, and now he's into a lost bishop ending. And his best move was bishop c7, but I can win this in a lot of ways. King d5 threatens bishop d6, and I'll give up the a-pawn. Anyway, thanks for the game. You played reasonably well. You had a good game, but didn't quite work out. Which one is that? Calyx? Okay, close the Calyx game, and I have 2 games left. Okay, so still his move here. Is it my move here yet? Uh, I gotta come back here, I think. Okay, it's just a matter of time. I don't know why I'm playing on. Probably because I have one other game going. Okay. Um, 44 minutes to play here. What's he do? E4? He's trying to play E3. Well, when he plays E3, I get mated. So I go stick the bishop on D4 and hope for the best. Okay. Play a couple moves more. He didn't play there. He brought the knight in. Okay. How can I do anything at all here? I can't even go threaten the pawn on E4. But I can stick my rook there. Then maybe I can chop it off. What else is there to do? You know. Okay, he's got 43 minutes, plenty of time. Okay, he stuck the knight in there. I can't play rook E4. So rook D1. There comes E3, E2, and E1, and game over. Okay, fine. Well, you're going to win. Good game. I'm not resigning yet. Oop, wrong button. Okay. Where's he putting the bishop? I have no idea. Okay. Can I get a stalemate out of this? Probably not. I have too many pawn moves. Let me see. There are two games left, right? This one and that one. It's his move there. "42 minutes. How much time do I have here? 74. Oh, wow, I played too quick. Okay. Number one reason why people lose games, they move too quick. He didn't, I did. Case in point. G4, G5. What's he trying to do? G4? Let's see. I play H3. That's the normal move. H3 weakens G3. But he's not weakens H3. His bishop could come back and attack it. It just seems like the natural move to play, and there's no point in playing this one on. I don't have any moves. Let's try something cute. Bishop H. Bishop G7. I put it on H8, but I didn't really have a future down there. Okay, I'm only playing this one because the other game's still going. Oops, wrong button again. There comes a check. Well, we'll stop that. Bishop D4. You can still check if you want. And he does want to. So let's see. take or move my king? There's no point in playing on. Unless he's going to disconnect again. Cheap way to win. I'll just resign. Game over. Now I'll play one more. That game went to pieces quick. Let's see what happened. I clearly underestimated his attack. I thought I had everything covered. Okay. I didn't mind the attack. I saw it coming from the opening. Yeah, bishop h3. I was just being too clever. White should be okay here. If anything, I could even throw h3 at him. Didn't even think of that. h3 attacks his knight, and I should have enough defense on the second rank. After that, there's an oops here. See, if I take on f6, the thing I forgot about is pawn takes, king g2, queen h3 is curtains. King h1, bishop takes f3, mate. So after that, game over. Oh, now they're saying this guy cheated? Oh my god. Engine. You didn't play, the engine did it for you. No, I didn't use an engine. But then why did you copy Stockfish move for move? Oh my goodness. It was prepared analysis. Oh, come on. Okay. If you cheated, shame on you. He cheated. Well, okay, let's keep the name and shame out of this. Sorry for mentioning it. You know, rated 835, or if it was 500. Anyway, let's see what's happening here. He played his king to g7. I'm just going to offer a draw and get out of this match. What do I want to play here? Got to make a move if I'm going to offer a draw. Okay. Oops, hitting the wrong button. There goes the video. What did I do? I shrunk something. Let's close the box. There it's back. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Oh well, if you want to beat me that bad, go ahead. Anyway, got to make a move. I'll just, let's see, I said h3 was weak. I'll just play this and offer a draw. You can have a draw if you want one. I'm going to take a walk. Yeah, I shouldn't have. I don't care if I lose the game, good game. But, to say the least, just take a walk. I'll be back. Okay, looks like he took the draw. So thank you so much. Let's do a little review on this one. If I'm careful, I won't lose. I've got weak pawns everywhere, but I do have the two rooks for what they're worth. And let me type of thanks. He took. Okay, let's see what's happening over here. Well, let's go back here. As I was saying, this game was even, and just follow the set opening. There we go. First 10 moves. Now I clear F1 for a knight. And now I take. Solve. Get C4. Now what I was saying, maybe I should have tried to reinforce the knight. I was just kind of fumbling for a plan, preserving the option of doubling the rooks. I went ahead with a plan. In a longer game against one opponent, I might consider such an action. Now I come back and didn't even think really that let him take, and I have pressure on D6. I discovered that later. And now, he's fine. He can double. I didn't really expect him to come down here, but then I wasn't watching that I lost the pawn on C3. And now I've got to be careful, I think. The reason I have to be careful is because he's got three minor pieces that are probably a little better than mine. Did I say that during the video? See, my bishop on E2 is kind of crummy, and his knight has the B4 square, which is pivotal, as I've explained. I need that. I need to keep control of that square, and losing the pawn on C3, I don't have it. So I'm happy just to get the game over and get the simul over much quicker, and this won't be such a long a video as the last one. Now keep the rooks back. Can't really aggressively play for win. I have to wait things out. Now there's indirect threats on the pawn on E3, so I cover that. He would need a knight on F5. I guess he could try that knight E7 with the idea of knight F5, but I should have resources. Knight E7. Well, he gets it to F5 and pushes C4. I mean, I can always block with D4, but then he's got the annoying pass pawn. That might have been a good move, knight E7. You can analyze that to your leisure. G5. I just don't want that knight getting pushed around. So, draw offer, and it's about an even game. Good game. Enjoyed playing you. I hope you learned something from playing me, from the competition, and from my notes in the video when you replay it. Thanks again. Okay, now what's going on over here? Is anyone still here? I'll just put a message. Anyway, click my profile and join my free video lessons group, and you can play me in future simuls. Okay. Gotta go. Okay. Gotta go. Of course. Anyway, interesting discussion. I think what I'll do is I'll copy for my posterity. Okay. Anyway, I thank you so much for watching. Join my free video lessons group and play me. If you beat me, good for you. Okay. I'm here to promote chess. I have no ego. Congratulations, Im Hiscaladog, and thanks to everyone for their time.